Greetings everyone from Watercolors, I'm CM Waters. Now looking back at some past episodes of mine, I have noticed the trend that anything mechanical tends to be evil. Whether it's Bombastic Bobby's Electromagnet, Leslie 9.74, Junkman, or anything created by the Onceler, it seems that mechanical devices and people have been given a bad rap. So to rectify that, I'm going to take a look at a heroic machine, Inspector Gadget. Created in 1983, Inspector Gadget was a bumbling detective with a series of mechanical devices placed into his body that helped him get out of the trouble when the devices worked. The original series ran from 1983 to 1986 and will remain a staple of syndication for years to come. With that kind of success, there were numerous attempts to bring back the character for spin-offs afterwards, but, well, some of them were just bland and others were downright awful. But with the financial, if not critical, success of the 1999 live-action Inspector Gadget movie, one more attempt was made to bring back our bumbling gumshoe. That attempt is our focus today. Released on Nickelodeon in 2002 and a little bit later onto DVD, I present to you today Inspector Gadget's Last Case. Our movie opens up with a car chase in the city streets between two mad agents and whoever this is in this car. Yeah, I'm sure this scene is just a minor little bit of filler until Inspector Gadget makes his grand entrance in that great car that he had in the TV.
Whoever these felons are, Gadget-mobile, they have no respect for traffic law.
Running the plates through the DMV was a good idea. The vehicle is registered to a Mr. Clark.
Oh, for crying out loud. Really? Out of everything that was wrong with the 1999 Inspector Gadget movie, you had to include this into it? A talking car? No. This is the Gadget-mobile. A car that can transform to help Gadget catch criminals. What you have is pathetic and annoying. Thankfully, they don't have that same voice style that they had in the original movie into this one, but yeah, this car is one of the primary focuses of this movie. Anyway, Gadget and his car chase after these mad agents who have apparently robbed a bank, and this scene gives us a sign of things to come. Gadget and his car not only have to deal with the mad agents doing whatever they can to stop them, including using a strange formula, we'll get back to that, but Gadget-mobile having various breakdowns as well.
Old oil slick routine. Nice strategy, Gadget-mobile.
Strategy, nothing. I sprung a leak. I'm not feeling so good.
Bad.
Guess Gadget has been wasting his budget on trips and toys for penny instead of a necessary tool to do his job. After Gadget and Gadget-mobile crash land into a dead end, we are taken to a hospital for cars as Gadget-mobile is taken into surgery, for lack of a better term.
He's lost a lot of fluids, Otto. I'm afraid it's...
I've never lost a car yet, and I'm not about to now.
No. If you're gonna do a scene like this, you need to have the appropriate music. Here, let me show you how it's done. As Gadget-mobile recovers, we cut to the base of the classic villain Dr. Claw, who...
So, Gadget has once again thwarted a robbery by two of my top agents.
Really now? Really? Okay, I didn't mention this earlier in this special, but neither Inspector Gadget nor Dr. Claw have their original voice actors, Don Adams and Frank Welker. With Adams, I can understand. Adams wasn't feeling that well at the time, and sadly, he would pass away a couple of years after this thing came out. But you're telling me Frank Welker, the voice of Megatron, Dr. Claw in the old series, and at least 50 to 75% of the other characters of any show you can name from the 1980s, was not able to do his voice for this show? I mean, what else could he have been doing at this time? Don't answer that. I don't want to know how painful it could be. Well, this scene's pretty brief, as Claw just has some plan in mind with the formula we saw the two agents using earlier. So, back to the hero side of things. While Gadget-mobile recovers, Chief Quimby demands a debriefing from Gadget.
Do you mind telling me what the heck went on out there today?
Pursuit of perpetrators. And I'm proud to say, 2 of Dr. Claw's men have been brought to justice.
You and that car of yours destroyed over $2 million in city property.
A toy store window and a dead-end street were destroyed. If that alone cost $2 million, then the mayor of this city is getting severely screwed over. Gadget is given a warning that next time Gadgetmobile has a breakdown, he's off the force before getting a new assignment and being sent down to the lab to check out a loaner car.
Inspector Gadget, I'd like to introduce Roadstar 2000, R2K for short. Faux Corinthian leather, in-dash multi-interface computer, and state-of-the-art gizmos and doohickeys.
For only $99.99.
And they couldn't transfer Gadgetmobile's AI into this new car. Why now? But despite how impressive this new car seems, the Gadgetmobile gets back up and running, so he'll have to wait. On the road, Gadget and his car have a little bit of a talk.
Chief Quimby say anything to you about me?
Well, he just hopes, that you don't have any more mishaps.
You don't think they...
Kick you off the force? Never. Absolutely positively not.
Ah, I see Gadget's been taking lessons from Aladdin how to treat his friends. Good to know.
The investigation yields some clues as they find the formula, but they're soon interrupted by a new trouble. A crook by the name of Fernando Linguini, who started out earlier in the movie at a mere 2 feet tall or so, has used some of the formula that Dr. Claw and his crew gave him to...
He would have an enormous Schwanzstücke.
Gadget and his car attempt to stop the Italian giant, but they are overmatched, especially with Gadgetmobile's breakdowns, allowing for Linguini to attack a nearby bridge. However, a new hero manages to arrive to thwart him.
Debonair crime fighter.
Now you see, in a good special, what would happen is we would keep this a mystery. We would wondered what this guy's motives are, where he came from, that sort of thing. This special, on the other hand, blatantly tells us right in the special who this is, as seen here.
Is there no crime fighter out there who can stop him?
Oh, something tells me there is.
With Devin, getting things done, Gadget has to break the bad news to Gadgetmobile about his future.
Look, I'm sorry about this, Gadgetmobile. I did everything I could.
Oh yeah, really sounds like it.
They're gonna set you up real nice. Down in Florida, I hear.
We were supposed to be partners to the end.
Yes, well, unfortunately, the end happens to be tomorrow morning.
Yeah!
All right. Fine.
Leave the memories alone. I don't want to say.
Now I'm sure since Penny isn't as out of touch with reality as her uncle is, she's going to be nice and mature about the fact that Gadget had to replace his car with a new...
Where's Gadgetmobile, Uncle Gadget?
Well, Penny, I had to replace him.
What? Gadgetmobile was your partner. You don't just dump someone because they have a couple of breakdowns. So who's next? I get the flu, you're gonna toss me in an orphanage? Brain gets fleas, you're gonna send him off to the pound?
Yeah, is this the asylum? Yeah, we have a whole family that we have to come and pick up here.
Before you go, Inspector Gadget, if you could just show me to my room?
Well, this is your room, R2K.
Oh, no, this won't do at all. Oh, moldy walls, oil stains, spider webs. Oh, this is simply unacceptable for a vehicular crime fighter of my caliber.
Ah, I see someone found a C3PO circuit set for this car. Gadget, in the meantime, tries to deal with his niece's overreactions, assuring her that his old car will be just fine.
Gadgetmobile liked the garage just fine.
Well, I'm sure he's gonna like his new home even better. Florida, I think.
You don't even know?
You can rest assured that all efforts are being made to ensure that Gadgetmobile's retirement years are filled with comfort and dignity.
Yep, just fine. What a jackass.
In this used car lot, Gadgetmobile meets up with two other cars that used to work for Heroes, and yes, sadly, they talk too, Velvetmobile and Cabby. They start by hero worshipping a bit before telling Gadgetmobile about his potential future.
He figures if a major player like you got dumped, what chance do we have of somebody buying us and putting us back in action?
You mean they sell you here?
Only if you're lucky.
Lucky? What could be worse?
Nah, the scene just doesn't do it for me unless you have a certain musical number in it. Let me show you.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Hurt me while I panic!
At the same time, we find that R2K was busy through the night looking for information about the crime wave that's been going on through the city, finding out that Claw's lair is somewhere in a mountain range. However, rather than actually pursue him or go on patrol, Gadget instead finds a commercial for Gadgetmobile being sold and decides to pay his old car a visit. Unfortunately for him, Devin arrives first.
It is the Gadgetmobile.
The one, the original, and priced to move.
You know, it's a good thing the original series car isn't here right now, otherwise we'd have a remake of the movie Christine on our hands. Devin buys the Gadgetmobile, rechristening him the Debonair-mobile in the process, and takes him to his mansion, where we see he gets his own special room, complete with maid.
You like a nice boffin, yeah?
Yes, I'm sure she's quite used to buffing, if you know what I mean.
After Gadget finds out that his trusted former sidekick is no longer in the dealer, Gadget starts to go on patrol, just in time to meet up with a new threat. However, things still don't go that well for him when he faces our chilled criminal.
Go-Go-Gadget propeller! Go-Go-Gadget thermal underwear! Go-Go-Gadget carrot nose.
Now that's the funniest thing I've seen since my kid sister ate the yellow snow.
Urine jokes, the height of mature humor.
But when the Snowbot seems to have things cooled down into his favor, Devin Debonair comes by and steals the show once again, making a fool out of Gadget in the process. Quimby, though, plays a nice, good, motivational boss of sorts and gives him a chance.
You better straighten up, Gadget. Any more screw-ups and you're off the force.
Even though until this Debonair guy showed up, you were the only crime fighter we've had, and we've had millions of dollars invested in you with all that technology, and you have the history of fighting Dr. Claw, and... Wait a second, what was my point again?
Gadget's embarrassment only continues that evening at an award show for crime fighters, where Devin managed to win pretty much every major award. Although if this is an award ceremony, don't they use the previous year usually? Anyway, Gadgetmobile also gets an award for himself. When Penny tries to get her uncle to be a good sport and Gadget refuses about this, things start to go awry.
Congratulations, Gadget, you're giving Justin Magoo a run for his money in the Aura of Destruction department.
Gadget's little trip here ends up causing him to crash into his former car, causing a very awkward conversation between the two.
Look, just for the record, Gadgetmobile, I want you to know how sorry I...
It's Debonair Mobile now.
Right, Debonair Mobile. I forgot. You took his name?
Oh, would you two just kiss already? You know you want to!
Tension only builds up more when Devin comes up to the group and taunts Gadget for a little bit. However, Brain's allergies to cat hair kick in, giving a clue to our heroes of what we already know.
See? This is what happens when you use that cheap public bathroom soap way too much.
And now, for the first time in this whole movie, we start to get closer of how things actually were in the show, as while Gadget just reclines on Penny's bed, she goes and finds out that this is cat hair, and the fact there is no previous information on Devin.
Well, that's weird. It's as if the guy just came out of nowhere.
Almost as if he was our arch nemesis in disguise. But that couldn't be it.
With his award in tow, Debonair Mobile goes to visit his friends back at the old used car lot, and is willing to give his award away to them. When asked about Gadget, Debonair Mobile says he's over him until he learns the truth.
Is so cool. You should have seen his expression when we told him that you were hooked up with Devin Debonair.
You mean Gadget came here?
Yep, right after Devin drove you off the lot. Oh, Gadget sure was upset.
I never knew.
You know something? I think I get it now. This was originally supposed to be a romantic comedy. Somebody just told them to put Inspector Gadget in it, and then that's changed the script around. Why didn't I see this before? It makes perfect sense now.
But there's no time for romance now, as Devin tells the car that he found the lair of Dr. Claw and even calls up Gadget to join in. Penny is naturally suspicious, but Gadget gives his view on why he was called.
Why would a glory hog like Devin ask you to help him bring down Claw?
Because, Penny, your uncle happens to be a very successful and intelligent crime fighter. Devin probably wants to use my valuable expertise.
Alright, let's freeze frame on Penny's face here. You see that face? That is the face that says, I want to bitch slap the stupidity out of you, but I'm going to be nice because you're my uncle.
Gadget arrives at the scene which Devin informed him of, and despite the obvious prison setup, Gadget wants to get a bit of glory while waiting for Devin and attacks the place, letting out all the goons that were taken care of earlier in the movie. Of course, afterwards, Devin immediately shows up, and the prisoners are taken back into custody. Chief Quimby tells Gadget he's off the force, despite Gadget's attempts to defend himself.
But, Chief, we got a tip that this was Claw's lair. Ask Devin, he'll back me up.
You know something, Gadget? You have said some pretty stupid things throughout this whole movie, most of which I've skipped over for time constraints, but has to be the dumbest thing you have ever said in this entire series. And I'm not just talking this movie, I'm talking all Inspector Gadget.
Now that Gadget's out of the way, Claw decides that he has no need for, the talking car with high-tech weaponry and history of police files in it. Seriously, Claw, what the hell? And sends it to be crushed, even if he allows the car to be called Gadget Mobile one last time. But before the final blow...
Mobile, Kathy.
At the same time, Penny shows her uncle the transformation formula that Claw threw away, and with the help of the business card Gadget got from Devin earlier, they deduce the truth. And just in time for Gadget Mobile to pull up to give the proper reunion.
Still think my theory about this originally being a romantic comedy was far off now?
Alright, I'm just gonna do a quick sum up from here. Gadget and Gadget Mobile, with the help of Velvet Mobile and Cabby, capture Claw's goons. Gadget Mobile gives an award to the other two cars, and Penny gets Quimby to arrive at the scene at the same time to give Gadget and the car back their jobs, despite Claw getting away. And thus, we end on a happy note, and...
But unfortunately, Claw himself has once again escaped our clutches.
Well, it's no wonder. With that transformation formula, Claw could disguise himself as anything or anybody.
You're right, Penny. He could be anybody. Go-Go-Gadget restraining device.
I'm gonna get you for this, Gadget!
Tell it to the judge, Chief. Or should I say, Claw?
Well, I am the real chief. You know that, Gadget Mobile. Your sensors can detect a phony.
Talk to the steering wheel, because the sensors are not listening.
And thus, the next day, Gadget and Gadget Mobile were broken down and sold for parts throughout the rest of the department. Good job, guys!
This movie really has a lot of problems. There's so much that was taken away from the original show. The global aspect of it, the change in style, the change in focus, and so on, that it barely feels like an Inspector Gadget movie to me. Obviously, this was made with the recent live-action movie's release in mind, but even now ignoring that, it's at best only an okay movie.
But at least with this special out of the way, we don't have to worry about anything else Inspector Gadget, because all that's left is the original series
Gadget Boy, he's so much smarter than the rest. Gadget and the Gadgetines.
I'll get you next time, Gadgets. next time.
Touching. Anybody got a hanky? Now, crush him.